Imagine this. Two planets are moving toward each other. The promise exists. The conversation has begun. The proposal is on the table. The relationship has chemistry. The job lead looks possible. The property discussion is active. The medical treatment has been advised. The business idea has a structure. But then comes the silent question in Tajika. Will this actually become lived reality? That is where the 10th Tajika Yoga becomes very important. The 10th yoga is Kalasara Yoga, and this is one of the most psychologically powerful, practically useful, and often misunderstood yogas in Varshaphala. Because Kalasara does not simply say nothing will happen, it says something more precise. It says, the setup exists but the moon does not pick it up. There is ittasala between two planets. There is an applying promise. The Lagnesha and Karyesha, or two relevant significators, are moving toward completion. On paper, something is trying to form. But the moon is unqualified, unsupported, or disconnected from that promise. The moon neither associates with nor forms the necessary ittasala with either planet. So the result stays mental, verbal, theoretical, procedural, or circumstantial, but it does not become embodied. This is the yoga of the hollow promise. The meeting happens, but the decision does not land. The offer is discussed, but nobody sends the final document. The relationship has attraction, but no emotional participation. The business deal has logic, but no living commitment. The family discussion happens, but the family heart is absent. The year may show activity, but the activity does not necessarily turn into experience. In Varshaphala, this is extremely valuable because the annual chart is not merely about potential. It is about manifestation in a specific year. And Kalasara tells us that a matter may look alive from the outside, but remain unincarnated from the inside. This is why, in Tajika, we do not stop at ittasala. We ask, does the moon carry it? Because the moon is the emotional body, the public body, the family body, the lived body. The moon takes a possibility and makes it something you feel, experience, remember, and participate in. When the moon refuses to carry the promise becomes like a beautifully written script that never gets filmed. Kalasara is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is subtle. You may receive a message and think, this is going somewhere. But then the person becomes unavailable. You may attend an interview and feel it went well. But then the company goes silent. You may discuss relocation, investment, healing, promotion, education, or partnership. But the actual life current does not enter the matter. That is Kalasara. Now understand the deeper mechanism. In Tajika logic, the Lagnesha represents the person, the year's self, the native, the one seeking the result. The Karyesha represents the matter, career, spouse, property, child, money, health, travel, litigation, education, whatever house is being activated. If Lagnesha and Karyesha form ittasala, the matter is trying to come together. But if the moon does not participate, then the year may show intention without emotional permission, contact without absorption, and structure without embodiment. This can be frustrating because Kalasara often produces anticipation. There is enough movement to make you believe something is coming, but there is not enough lunar force to make it real. That is why this yoga must be explained carefully in readings. Do not tell the person, nothing will happen in a careless way. Tell them, the possibility exists, but the chart shows weak embodiment. The matter may remain in discussion, planning, expectation, or emotional incompletion unless other strong delivery factors support it. Now let us apply this house by house. If Kalasara appears in a career matter, especially involving the 10th house, the person may be shortlisted but not selected. They may be considered for promotion but not finally elevated. A senior may speak positively but not issue the order. The organization may talk about role change, appraisal, transfer, or recognition, but the lived result may not come in that year. In practical life, this can look like a manager saying, your case is strong, but HR never closes it. A client says, we will proceed, but the purchase order does not arrive. A government file moves, but the sanction does not materialize. There is visibility, but no confirmed status. If this yoga happens with the 7th house in relationship or marriage matters, there may be attraction, conversation, meetings, even social approval, but no emotional joining. One person may like the idea of the relationship but not enter it fully. There may be compatibility on paper, but not enough heart movement. In marriage negotiations, families may talk, Charts may be matched, dates may be discussed, but no final commitment happens. This can also show ghosting after closeness. It can show a person who says the right things but does not emotionally arrive. It can show a client who inquires deeply but never signs. In litigation, it may show negotiation without settlement. If Kalasara affects the fourth house, it can show property discussions that do not close, relocation plans that remain pending, family meetings without emotional resolution, vehicle purchase ideas that are postponed, or home renovation plans that stay on paper. The house may be seen, the price may be discussed, the loan may be evaluated, but the emotional or practical decision does not become final. In family matters, someone may say, "We should resolve this," but the family heart is not ready. So the conversation becomes circular. Everyone talks, no one truly feels it through. If Kalasara affects the fifth house, it may appear in romance, children, education, creativity, speculation, and performance. A romance may begin with enthusiasm, but lack follow-through. A creative project may be conceptualized but not launched. A student may plan a course but not enroll. A child-related matter may be discussed but delayed. A performance, publication, or content idea may remain in drafts. For a creator, this is the yoga of, I have the idea, I have the outline, I have the inspiration, but I did not publish it. For a student, it is, I want to study, but I never fully enter the discipline. If the ninth house is involved, Kalasara may show pilgrimage planned but not taken, higher education considered but not joined, legal support discussed but not activated, publication delayed, or a guru-mentor connection that inspires but does not concretely guide the year. There may be faith but not action. There may be philosophy but not embodied practice. The person may say, "This year I will change my life," but does not take the pilgrimage, course, vow, legal step, or spiritual discipline needed to make that change real. If the second house is involved, money may be promised but not received. Family support may be spoken of but not delivered. Salary increase may be discussed but not credited. Savings plans may be made but not followed. Speech may happen, but value does not transfer. If the 11th house is involved, gains may be expected but delayed or hollow. Networks may appear but not help. Friends may promise support but remain absent. Social media reach may rise but not convert. Income opportunity may look close but fail to become actual gain. If the sixth house is involved, there may be treatment plans without discipline, job applications without conversion, disputes without resolution, or debt restructuring conversations without real relief. The person knows what must be done, but the emotional and behavioral follow-through is weak. If the eighth house is involved, Kalasara can show deep psychological material being activated but not processed. There may be a crisis conversation, inheritance discussion, intimacy issue, tax matter, surgery possibility, or occult insight, but the person does not fully enter the transformation. The shadow is seen, but not integrated. If the 12th house is involved, retreat, foreign travel, hospitalization, sleep healing, spiritual withdrawal, or expenditure may be discussed, but not fully manifest, or the result may dissolve quietly. The person may want release, but still remain emotionally attached. Now let us bring planets into this. When the sun is involved in Kalasara, authority is present, but does not fully bless the matter. The boss, fatherment, leader, or senior figure may speak, approve verbally, or show awareness, but the official sanction may not come. The person may also feel ego involvement. I deserve this recognition. But the year may not embody that recognition yet. In career, this is the visible promise of status without actual title. In relationship, pride may prevent emotional participation. In government matters, paperwork may move but not receive final seal. When the moon itself is weak or unqualified in Kalasara, the emotional field is the missing piece. The person may not feel ready. The family may not support. The public may not respond. The mind may fluctuate. Food, home, mother, women, community, and emotional safety may become the missing channels. This is the year where you must ask, do I actually feel this? Or do I only think this is correct? When Mars is involved, the matter may have action, urgency, and pressure, but no emotional continuity. There may be a burst of effort followed by exhaustion. A fight may begin but not resolve. A property issue may be activated but not closed. A surgery may be advised but postponed. An engineer, soldier, police figure, competitor, or assertive person may enter the story, but the result does not settle. Mars Kalasara can feel like ignition without completion. The engine starts. The vehicle does not move. When Mercury is involved, words dominate. Emails, documents, calls, negotiations, contracts, reports, studies, and messages may circulate, but the agreement does not land. The paperwork is there, but the living commitment is absent. The mind keeps analyzing, but life does not move. This is very common in business, client work, education, and media. Someone says, "Send me the proposal." You send it. Then silence. That is Mercury inside Kalasara. When Jupiter is involved, there may be wisdom, guidance, advice, blessings, legal counsel, academic opportunity, banking support, or institutional promise, but it may remain advisory. The teacher may inspire, the lawyer may guide, the banker may suggest, the mentor may bless, but the actual result needs another factor to manifest. In spiritual matters, Jupiter Kalasara may show insight without practice. The person understands the teaching but does not live the teaching. When Venus is involved, love, comfort, beauty, marriage, luxury, vehicle, finance, art, or pleasure may be promised but not experienced. The attraction exists, but intimacy does not become stable. A relationship may look graceful but lack emotional embodiment. A design project may be admired but not purchased. A vehicle may be considered but not bought. Wealth may be desired but not received. Venus Kalasara often feels sweet but incomplete. There is perfume in the air but no garland in the hand. When Saturn is involved, delay, responsibility, fear, bureaucracy, age, fatigue, scarcity, regulation, or time becomes the reason the matter does not embody. A file waits in the queue. A senior person delays. An old karmic duty blocks emotional participation. The person may be too tired to follow through. Saturn Kalasara can show the burden of reality swallowing the promise. Everyone agrees the matter should happen, but time, duty, money, age, system, or fear says not yet. When Rahu is involved as a modern extension, Kalasara can create hype without substance, social media attention without conversion, foreign opportunity without grounding, obsession without embodiment, a digital promise, marketing campaign, online relationship, unconventional opportunity, or AI software project may look exciting but may not become stable unless supported by stronger classical indicators. Rahu makes the promise look larger than it is. When Ketu is involved, there may be detachment from the outcome. A spiritual, occult, technical, or hidden matter may arise, but the person may not care enough to materialize it. Ketu can show insight without worldly action. The person sees the truth but walks away from the result. Now let us understand this through signs. If Kalasara happens in Aries, there is initiative but no sustained embodiment. The person starts fast, speaks boldly, takes the first step, then the emotional field does not continue. It is action without holding power. In Taurus, the matter concerns value, money, food, family, speech, or stability. There may be desire for comfort, but no actual possession. The deal looks materially attractive but does not settle into ownership. In Gemini, Kalasara becomes conversation without conclusion. Too many messages, too much analysis, too many options. The mind is active, but the life decision is absent. In Cancer, the emotional issue is central. Home, mother, family, property, safety, or belonging may be discussed, but emotional readiness is missing. People may care, but still not act. In Leo, pride, visibility, authority, education, romance, or recognition may be involved. The stage is prepared, but the performance does not happen. The person wants to be seen, but the year may not grant the full spotlight. In Virgo, details obstruct embodiment. The matter gets analyzed, corrected, revised, documented, checked, but never lived. Perfectionism prevents manifestation. In Libra, relationship, contract, diplomacy, social image, or legal balance may be involved. Both sides may appear polite, but no one enters full commitment. In Scorpio, hidden fear, secrecy, control, intimacy, inheritance, or trauma may stop embodiment. Something deep is activated, but not fully processed. In Sagittarius, belief, teaching, travel, law, publishing, or dharma may be discussed but not acted upon. The person has vision, but not lived pilgrimage. In Capricorn, work, rank, duty, pressure, and responsibility dominate. The system may acknowledge the matter but delay the result. Structure exists, emotional movement does not. In Aquarius, networks, technology, gains, reform, and communities may look promising, but the promise can stay digital, collective, or ideological without personal embodiment. In Pisces, the matter may dissolve through confusion, compassion, sacrifice, retreat, sleep, foreignness, or surrender. There may be faith, but no concrete form. Now let us contrast Kalasara with other yogas so you can teach it clearly. Ittasala says, the matter is coming together. Kambula says, the moon picks it up, now it becomes lived. Gairi Kambula says, not now, but after a shift, it can become real. Kalasara says, the promise exists, but the moon does not embody it. Radha says, the connection exists, but weakness cancels delivery. Manau says, the promise exists, but Mars or Saturn obstructs it. Durufa says, the planets are depleted. Do not expect clean delivery. Kalasara is unique because it may not show harsh obstruction or obvious weakness. The matter may simply lack emotional incarnation. This is why, in client readings, Kalasara must be handled with precision. If someone asks, will this relationship become marriage? And Kalasara is present, you do not say, there is no relationship. You say, there is contact, attraction, and possibility, but the chart questions emotional follow-through. Unless the moon receives support elsewhere, this may remain a discussion, a hope, or an unfinished connection. If someone asks, will I get the job? And Kalasara appears, you say, the opportunity is visible, but the chart does not show strong embodiment. You may interview, discuss, or be considered, but final joining may require another timing window or stronger support. If someone asks, will I buy the house? You say, the negotiation exists, but the actual living result is weak. The deal may remain unsigned, or the emotional readiness to move may not arrive. If someone asks, will my creative project launch? You say, the idea is real, the intention is real, but the publishing or public embodiment is weak. You must deliberately strengthen follow-through. And this is where Kalasara becomes a coaching tool, not just a prediction tool. Because if the moon is missing, the remedy is not merely ritual. The remedy is embodiment. Ask, who needs to emotionally participate? What support is missing? Where is the family, public, client, audience, or inner mind not aligned? Is the person acting from genuine feeling or only intellectual planning? Is the body ready for the promise? Is the home environment supporting the result? Is there nourishment, rest, emotional clarity, and receptive timing? Because sometimes Kalasara is not saying the universe denies the result. It is saying the person has not allowed the result to enter life. They have talked about change but not reorganized their day. They have prayed for partnership but not opened emotionally. They have wanted career growth but not accepted responsibility. They have desired healing but not followed the treatment. They have wanted visibility but not published the work. They have desired money but not built a vessel for wealth. This is why, in Varshaphala, Kalasara can become one of the most honest yogas. It reveals the difference between potential and participation. Now let me give practical examples. A man wants promotion. The 10th Lord and Lagnesha form Ittasala. The boss has noticed him. The performance review is positive, but the moon does not connect. Result, praise, discussion, maybe future consideration, but not the actual promotion in that year. The native must strengthen visibility, emotional rapport with decision makers, and timing. A woman is in a relationship. The 7th Lord and Lagnesha apply. There is affection. Families know, but Kalasara appears. Result? The relationship remains undefined. They may meet, talk, and even plan, but no marriage date. The emotional body is not carrying the promise. A family considers buying property. The 4th Lord and Lagnesha are in application. The property is seen, the price is discussed, loan eligibility exists, but the moon does not participate. Result, the property may remain a possibility. Another house, another month, or another emotional condition may be needed. A student wants higher education abroad. The 9th Lord and Lagnesha connect. The application is strong, but Kalasara shows weak embodiment. Result, admission may be discussed, or the student may prepare, but visa, funding, family readiness, or emotional courage may not mature that year. A creator plans a YouTube channel. The 5th and 10th are activated. Mercury is strong. The ideas are many, but the moon is absent. Result, scripts, notes, thumbnails, planning, but no consistent publishing. The content does not reach the public because the moon, the mass response, and lived rhythm is missing. This is why I say, Kalasara is the yoga of almost, but not yet embodied. It is the meeting without memory, the plan without pulse, the promise without participation. The chart may show a beautiful architecture, but the house remains empty. Now, is Kalasara always bad? No, sometimes it protects you. A bad relationship may not materialize. A risky investment may remain only a discussion. A harmful surgery may be postponed. A weak job offer may vanish before trapping you. A toxic partnership may never become legal. A debt may not fully crystallize. So Kalasara can also be graced through non-manifestation. This is why a mature astrologer never reads a yoga mechanically. You must ask, what is the matter? Is embodiment desirable? Is non-materialization actually protective? If the matter is disease, debt, litigation, scandal, or conflict, Kalasara may reduce lived suffering. The threat exists, but it may not fully manifest. The problem is seen, discussed, feared, but does not become complete reality. So the same yoga that disappoints in marriage may protect in litigation. The same yoga that delays promotion may prevent a bad contract. The same yoga that blocks relocation may keep the person from an unstable place. This is the beauty of Tajika. It does not give childish labels like good or bad. It gives mechanisms, and the mechanism of Kalasara is simple. There is a setup, but no lunar embodiment. For annual readings, this becomes a powerful forecasting tool. When I see Kalasara, I look carefully at the month, house, and planetary period. I ask where the person may overestimate a promise. I ask where life is asking for deeper emotional alignment. I ask where follow-through must be consciously created. Because when the moon does not naturally pick up the matter, you cannot rely on passive flow. You need intentional embodiment. You need calendar action. You need emotional truth. You need public movement. You need family alignment. You need nourishment, repetition, and physical participation. For career, this means do not only wait for recognition. Send the document. Follow up. Ask for the written decision. Make the informal formal. For relationship, do not only enjoy chemistry. Ask for clarity. Observe behavior. See whether the person emotionally shows up. For property, do not only dream of the home. Check papers, funding, readiness, family consent, and timing. For education, do not only collect course brochures. Enroll, pay, schedule, study. For health, do not only receive advice. Take the medicine, change the food, follow the routine. For spiritual life, do not only understand the teaching. Practice it. That is the practical secret of Kalasara. It shows where life will not automatically carry you. You must carry the matter consciously or accept that it may remain unmanifest. And this is exactly why Varshaphala is so useful. A birth chart shows the larger karmic architecture. But the annual chart shows what is alive this year, what is trying to happen this year, what is blocked this year, what is only theoretical this year, and what can become lived reality this year. Kalasara teaches discernment. Not every conversation is a commitment. Not every attraction is a relationship. Not every interview is a job. Not every blessing is a result. Not every plan is destiny. Destiny requires embodiment. And in Tajika, the moon is often the witness of embodiment. So when Kalasara appears in a yearly chart, the message is sharp. Do not be hypnotized by potential. Ask whether the matter has life force. Ask whether the emotional field supports it. Ask whether people are showing up, not just speaking. Ask whether the promise has entered the body of life. Because what does not enter the moon does not fully enter experience. And if you want to understand where your year is promising something, where it is withholding embodiment, where it is protecting you through non-manifestation, and where you must act consciously to turn possibility into reality, that is exactly what a Varshaphala yearly forecast reading is designed to reveal. A yearly forecast is not just about saying, this will happen or this will not happen. It is about identifying the mechanism. Is the matter applying? Is it separating? Is it obstructed? Is it rescued? Is it carried by the moon? Or is it Kalasara, visible, tempting, discussed, but not yet alive? When you know that, you stop wasting emotional energy on hollow promises. You stop waiting endlessly for people who are not embodying their words. You stop confusing planning with progress. And you begin working with the year intelligently. That is the power of Tajika. That is the precision of Varshaphala. And that is why Kalasara Yoga deserves deep respect. Because sometimes the most important prediction is not what appears. It is what almost appears but does not become life. Source basis: